Hey guys, it's Courtney. Today I'm going to be talking about law systems. So I would like to start today by giving a definition of legal systems. I obtained this definition from our textbook. It's on page number 53 in case you guys want to go back and look at it. So our textbook defines legal system as the legal system of a country refers to the rules or laws that regulate behavior along with the processes by which the laws are enforced and through which redress for grievances is obtained. So next, when I go about studying, I always think it is important to find out the importance of what we're studying in hopes that that will help it sink in more if I also find it important in my mind. So legal systems differ in many ways and can be a major determining factor in regards to a business entering another country. So, a country's laws regulate business practice, they define the manner in which business transactions are to be executed, and they set down the rights and obligations of those involved in the business transactions. So, a lot of times, if something goes wrong with a deal, it will go back on the country's laws, and whatever those laws are what they're going to hold you to. If you want to find more information about this, it is in our textbook on page 53. So there are three types of legal systems in the world currently. There are theocratic law systems, civil law systems, and common law systems. Now there are also contract laws, and those are intertwined within two of the other major law systems. But the big thing to keep in mind is that there are three major law systems, and those are theocratic, civil, and common law. So the first law system we're going to talk about today is the theocratic law system. A theocratic law system is one in which the law is based on religious teachings. You can find this definition in our textbook on page 53. A religious teaching is typically from either a teacher, a prophet, or a messiah, and their teachings or words or even speeches that they have previously given are typically written down in some sort of a text or a book or a scroll. So, the biggest example of theocratic law that is currently in use today is Sharia law or Islamic law. In that religion, the texts included are the Quran, which is spoken by God or in the words of God, and also the Sunnah, which is words and teachings from the Prophet Muhammad. The next law system we're going to talk about is the civil law system. And a civil law system is defined in our textbook as a law system that is based on a detailed set of laws organized into codes. And that is on page 54 in our textbook. So basically, in a civil law system, judges rely on very detailed legal codes, which means their opinion has no influence on the decision. Currently, civil law system is very accepted in today's culture. It is implemented in over 80 countries. Some of the most notable countries are Russia, France, Japan, and also in Germany. The next law system is the common law system. It's defined as our textbook as a law that is based on tradition, precedent, and custom, and that is also on page 54. So tradition is broken down into the country's legal history, and precedent is broken down into previous cases and the outcomes of those cases. And custom is how the laws are applied in specific cases and scenarios. So with the common law, judges have some flexibility in interpreting the law and how they see it fit. So this is very similar to civil law, but with common law, the judge has a little more say and their opinion could sway the case one way or another to how they interpret that law. So an example of common law is the United States of America where we live today. On the screen you're going to see on the left is a courtroom and on the right it is the Supreme Justices. So the United States does use a common law, and that's perfectly illustrated by the idea that we have ranges of what is considered an acceptable punishment for whatever crime. So say assault can be up to 10 years in prison. When that defendant goes into court, they are going to plead their case and exactly what happened, and if the judge thinks that it was, say, acceptable, or maybe it was their first time offense, they can take this into account when sentencing them or hearing their case. So they could get 2 years opposed to 5 years. Whereas in civil, it would be X amount of years and it doesn't matter the circumstances. So next we're going to talk about a contract law system. Now, a contract law system is not one of the 3 main types of legal systems, but it is still important to talk about. So first I'm going to break down into the definition of a contract and then contract law. So a contract is a document that specifies the conditions under which an exchange is to occur and the details, the rights and obligations of the parties involved. And a contract law is the body of the law that governs that contract enforcement. So typically contract laws are under common law systems and also civil law systems. So there are a couple differences in the contract law within the common law or the civil law. So a contract law within a common law, the contracts are very detailed and the contingencies are specific, and they're written in black and white on the document. In a civil law system, the contract law are typically short contracts, they're not very specific, and most items are covered in the original civil code. So as a summary, we have a rap summary that is written by my brother and I, and it's going to be performed by my brother Spencer.
Theocratic's not very democratic. If you're not the divine, follow the law on the line. Everything will be fine. Civil law has little flaws. It's written down right to the ground. Everyone knows how to behave, so no one will get the finger wave. Common law got me in awe. It's all about the past, making the rulings last. Similar cases get the same basis. It's throughout the land and all the places.
Well, thanks all for listening, and I hope that this review helps you on your midterm.